Good afternoon. I'm glad you're here. The title in my Bible says Eliphaz. Job is chastened by God. We're in chapter 5 of the book of Job. Let's see what he has to say. Call out now. Is there anyone who will answer you? And to which of the holy ones will you turn? For wrath kills a foolish man, and envy slays a simple one. I have seen the foolish taking roots, but suddenly I cursed his dwelling place. His sons are far from safety. They are crushed in a gate, and there's no deliverer. Because the hungry eat up his harvest, taking it even from the thorns, and a snare snatches their substance. For affliction does not come from the dust, nor does trouble spring from the ground. Yet man is born to trouble, and sparks fly upward. He seems to have a problem with Job's desire for divine help, and is acting as though it's obvious there are heart issues and real reasons that, if known, everyone could understand. Do you have people like that in your life that know how to make assumptions without any kind of evidence and imply stuff that leaves you feeling condemned or as though there was condescension towards you? But as for me, I would seek God, and to God I would commit my cause, who does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. He gives rain on the earth and sends water in the fields. He sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He frustrates the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot carry out their plans. That sounds like God. It sounds like one of his faces. He catches the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the cunning comes quickly upon them. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope at noon, as in the night. But he saves the needy from the sword, from the mouth of the mighty, and from their hand. So the poor have hope, and injustice shuts her mouth. When somebody brings something to you that has some truth, it's good for us. It's good for me to be humble enough to consider. Maybe I haven't approached God yet with this. Maybe I haven't remembered who he is. Behold, happy is the man whom God corrects. Therefore, do not despise the chastening of the Almighty. For he bruises, but he binds up. He wounds, but his hands make whole. He shall deliver you. In 6 troubles, yes, in 7, no evil shall touch you. In famine, he shall redeem you from death, and in war, from the power of the sword. You shall be hidden from the scourge of the tongue, and you shall not be afraid of destruction when it comes. You shall laugh at destruction and famine, and you shall not be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For you will have a covenant with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. You shall know that your tent is in peace. You shall visit your dwelling and find nothing amiss. And you shall also know that your descendants shall be many, and your offspring like the grass of the earth. You shall come to the grave at a full age, as a sheaf of grain ripens in its season. Behold, This we have searched out, it is true. Hear it and know for yourself. There are other places in the Bible where we find this. Think about Romans 8. And what shall separate us from the love of Christ? Think about Psalms and Proverbs. But if you take this honestly to the Lord, humbly, asking Him if this is truth, to help your heart accept it and properly position yourself, and that doesn't happen because your situation is different, then all of this makes it worse and not better. Even though there's truth here. Have you ever had somebody pray for you during a difficult time and they said something like, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper"? They don't say the second half of the verse, which is actually a court verse, but in any case, if I was looking at my childhood, I would say that was not truth for me then. There were weapons that were formed against me that did prosper. But the problem comes when I become defensive and can't honestly assess because I feel like I'm being attacked. And in this case, I think Eliphaz is just using the things that he knows are true about God to try and help his friends get postured rightly for healing. But I don't think that Eliphaz was doing it from the place of understanding what had just happened to Job, what he had just lost. Because when Job answers, he says, "Oh, that my grief were fully weighed, and my calamity laid with it on the scales. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words have been rash, for the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks in their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me. Does the wild donkey bray when it has grass, or does the ox low over its fodder? Can flavorless food be eaten without salt, or is there any taste in the white of an egg? My soul refuses to touch them. They are loathsome food to me." So Eliphaz is talking like a rational man. And Job is way past rational. Sometimes we do that to people. Sometimes people do that to us. They don't match where they are. They try to help us move to where they are in terms of depth, in terms of understanding. Which is why if you're going through great suffering, people that have gone through great suffering are going to get it. People that have had unimaginable loss, they're not going to need to fix you. They're not going to need to tell you what you're doing wrong. They'll just be willing to walk alongside you and love you as you process. I bless you to draw the people that you need around you. And I bless you to recognize those that are well-meaning, but they don't understand. And I bless you to know that out of all the people that have sat with me in some really hard places, there's never been any that are as good as it. Jesus at it. He won't turn away. He won't get disgusted. He's willing to sit there with you in it, feeling it. And he'll still love you. I bless you with that truth in Jesus' name.